Watching Rosario Dawson act in this movie is like watching LeBron James in a pickup basketball game at an elementary school.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. Okay, this is really difficult for everyone, but it doesn't have to actually be this hard.
I'm not doing anything, Julia. I am simply living my life with my family. If you're having a hard time, I suggest you look in the mirror.
No, I know exactly what it is that you are trying to do. And I am not gonna let you put Lily in the middle of this anymore.
Are you threatening me?
Yes.
Unforgettable is a suspense thriller that stars Rosario Dawson as a soon-to-be wife of a man whose ex-wife just can't let go. Oh, all the jealousy and rage that ensues. What will happen? Here's 5 things you might want to know about Unforgettable. I could just give this a one-word review. We just go with schlock. That's what this movie is. Lifetime movie, sappy schlock. Now, I mentioned at the top, Rosario Dawson is awesome. So let's start there. She is really good in this. She is so far overperforming this material. It's amazing. I believed her emotion in this in a movie that is full of nothing else believable. So kudos to her. And she has to know that, right? Like, she has to understand that she is acting outside of the realm of this movie. And I love that. I love it when an actor refuses to phone it in. And it's time. Honestly, it is time for Rosario Dawson to make the leap. Why hasn't she been in some sort of Oscar fair type movie? She's an incredible actress, and I think she deserves it. But you know who's in this movie performing exactly to the level of the movie? Katherine Heigl. And there's been plenty said about Heigl and her movies and her acting ability elsewhere. I don't need to rehash it here, but I'm going to tell you something interesting. I'm not actually going to give her performance a red here. We're going with a yellow because I actually think there's something really interesting going on here. She is so over the top with the way she's playing this ex-wife. I don't know if it's that unintentional humor thing, got ridiculous enough that I was like, I'm kind of liking this. I'm kind of buying into it. It's hard to tell if it's amazing or awful, right? It feels like you're watching a tornado. The first response is, wow, that's incredible. Look how awesome that is. And then something clicks inside of you and you're like, oh no, this is a bad thing. People are going to get hurt. Property's going to get destroyed. That's what it's like watching Heigl in this movie. At first you're in awe of her and then you're like, but I'm pretty sure it's not good. Here's the thing I'll say with confidence about Heigl. She's not the problem with this movie. Oh no. The problem with this movie is it's just boring. There is nothing especially interesting about this story, this ex-wife revenge jealousy tale story. So you take long stretches of just waiting for something to happen that you kind of know is going to happen anyway. So it's just look at your watch over and over. When are we going to get to the next plot point? When are we going to get to the end of this thing so I can see how it finishes up? Suffice to say, not a great way to watch a film. Which is especially painful considering this is supposed to be a suspense thriller movie. There are few things more ridiculous than when a movie misunderstands the hold it has on the audience. When there's this confidence that you're pulling them along and keeping them in suspense. And granted, maybe if it works for you, it's a totally different experience. And you can go into a movie and be owned by it, and maybe I just wasn't. But when you're not, it is sad and silly because it's just long spaces of them thinking, oh, they're on the edge of their seat. And I'm leaning back going, when will we get to the next thing? And one more thing for point number 5 before we get to the final grade. This is just a pet peeve of mine, so it's an opportunity to get it out there. I hate extreme foreshadowing. I hate it when movies start the movie with something that happens about 3/4 of the way into the movie and then spends the rest of the movie getting back to that point so we can know what was going on. Now, I'm not against nonlinear storytelling. In fact, I really like it when you can be clever about the order in which you tell the story. But this isn't that. This is lazy storytelling. This is a parlor trick to give you something to be compelled by. It's almost as if they understand their movie isn't compelling, so they're going to put something at the beginning that'll at least hold your attention till you get there. Because if you're not going to be thinking about your characters or their relationships or what's going on, at least you'll be thinking about, when are we going to get back to that scene that was at the beginning? It's annoying. I hate it. Stop doing it. Little pet peeve of mine I thought I'd get out there. Overall, though, Unforgettable is a very forgettable movie. Aside from a great performance by Rosario and an interesting performance by Heigl, there's nothing else here to hold your attention beyond a C-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. We'll get to the Best Ever Challenge here in a bit. Before we do, please connect with me. I'd love to hang out and talk movies with you. We can do that on Twitter. Aaron Dicer, Aarondicer is my name. Give a follow there, and we can chat there. Also here on YouTube, subscribe, leave comments, all that kind of fun stuff. If you like podcasts, great way to hang out. Every week we do a pop culture podcast called SiftPop, SiftPop. We review movies and television and also talk about other kind of fun stuff in the areas of pop culture. All right, on to the Best Ever Challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category. Also try to identify my choice. Let's go with ex-spouse movies. So any movie where there's an ex involved in some way or another. What is the best ever one? I'm gonna go with the one where Wesley from A Princess Bride tries to attack a child with a claw. Claw's gonna get you. Claw's gonna get you. Oh no, here comes the claw. Yeah, that one. Okay. Take your guess in the comments. First person to get it right does get a point. And leave your choice there as well. I'd love to hear your best ever ex-spouse movie too. So as always, here's 5 extra seconds to hit subscribe. Just click the logo right down in this corner.